Hello there, Spoons313 here. This is actually the second time I've tried making this video. I made this video yesterday, did the whole thing, and then realised because OBS or Open Broadcast Software had recently updated, it decided to turn off all of my audio options, which I didn't realise until after finishing the video, which really annoyed me because I normally always check that my bar is going up and down as I can now and that my sound is working, and the one time I didn't do it, bloody thing had turned itself off. Typical. So what are we doing? Well, I have noticed something quite amusing, quite interesting during my Aliens Colonial Marines Overhaul mod texture modding adventure, as I'm calling it at the moment. I'm using a program at the moment called TextMod, which lets you look at all the textures in the game, extract them, edit them, then make a package using TextMod, and TextMod then loads that package into the game and overrides the original files, showing the files that you've made in their place. I've done a bit about this on Twitch. That's very loud, but I haven't made any YouTube videos about it so far. It's a bit late for me now to share my Twitch videos because they're old now, which is stupid. So at the moment I'm just loading up the vanilla game here, and I've noticed something that is somewhere that shouldn't be there, and I've only recognised it now because it's one of the textures I've actually edited. It's funny that now I've started texture editing the game, that I'm starting to notice all sorts of different things, and in some places quite how bad things are in a texture's point of view. Right, let's just let this load up. This is a new loading screen that I did. I added Templar's Overhaul at the bottom and whatnot, extended the loading thing. Right, so at the moment I'm not going to follow O'Neill down there yet. We're going to walk over here. We're going to get my rifle out here so I can point. Now this, I'm guessing, is some kind of diagnostics cart. That's what it looks like to me. It's pretty low res, pretty badly rendered. I'm definitely going to be retexturing this thing. Definitely, because it's just bad, you know what I mean? You've got nice, highly rendered things, and then you've got these low rendered things, and they're shit. Anyway, what I noticed is when I looked at it, it's got two screens. And in the past, I've never really bothered paying it any attention, but now I've done texture editing in this game, I've recognised that this little picture right here, you can't really see it in the dark, that is not supposed to be the screen on this diagnostics cart. That is a flat pack texture of a small CRT monitor. Why is it in there? I have no idea. It shouldn't be there. I'll point that tray out later, so I'll show you exactly where it is in the game. Just go down here, and I'll also show you the texture on my desktop. I've actually changed the texture too, so I'll show you the new texture I've made for it while I'm at it. I want to keep this video relatively short, but I just wanted to point it out. So when we come over here, I keep forgetting I've got to wait for these idiots to finish talking. Well, while he's chatting anyway, I'm not going to go crazy. This is the CRT monitor. This is what you'll see in flat pack. This is the front. You won't see this screen part, you'll just see the square where it's meant to be because the screen texture is overlaid from another file. The same with the handprints and things like that. But you can see how badly textured it is. Badly textured. So that's the front part, and the other part you were seeing was the speaker part on the back and the ports and whatnot. So that's what the texture. That's the texture that's being displayed on a diagnostics cart. I don't know why. One of the other things I'll point out before I show you the original texture on the desktop is that this laptop is one of the things you're going to come at and look at closely. I will notice more because O'Neill uses it, and it's badly textured. But guess what? Let's walk behind here and look at Gearbox's beautifully rendered coffee pot that we probably wouldn't even bloody notice or look at, but they spent more time rendering it. Laptop, coffee pot. It's just bad. Oh, I actually just recently retextured this, and looks like that those holes never did work properly, and they always were black and look rubbish, so I'm glad I've changed them. Okay, so let me show you that flat pack texture on the desktop, now that we don't have to talk over O'Neill, and I'll show you the changes as well before I go. So I've already loaded it up into DTX bitmap, and you'll see here's the front part. This is where the monitor is supposed to be. This is the control pad. The control pad actually loads from here and is overlaid over the top of that. Speaker for the back and the ports and all the other stuff. So this is the CRT monitor that is loading over the top of the Diagnostics card. I'm not sure whether it's using the same files for that or whether two files have been misidentified for this, and I've changed them as well, thinking that they're linked to the other thing, and maybe they're not. Maybe they're doubles. I don't know. I'll have to have a look. But generally with the textures so far, they have a different texture depending on how far away you are from them, so it can load them in a lower resolution and save memory. And a lot of them, some of them have a 64, but a lot of them have a 128. Then they go up by they double, so it goes 128, 256, 512, 1024, and then 2048 for certain things, but not everything. This particular one only went up to from 128 to 512, so I've done it now that it goes from 128, 256, and it goes up to 2048, so I can get a lot more detail in it. But yeah, it looks like I'm going to have to see if I can override that Diagnostics cart. Hopefully I might be able to change its alpha channel and overlay something over the screen, so even if it loads a texture behind it, it'll be hidden. We'll see what happens. Okay, let's just load my textures in and we'll just quickly show you what I've been doing as well. Let's close that off. So here's text mod. Got to be careful with text mod. Yeah, there's a bit more information about text mod and things I've learnt from speaking to a really nice chap who was making the Building Better Worlds mod for Aliens Colonial Marines. He hasn't worked on it for the last couple of years. There is a reason, but I'm not going to say what that is at the moment. But if we can sort that out, we're thinking about working together and redoing the entire game together for the Overhaul mod, instead of just my Overhaul mini package, which just deals with the really badly pixelated stuff. And it helps to increase immersion in a game where you can look at a screen and you can actually read it and things look nice, and it just makes you feel like you're in a real world instead of a badly pixelated tunnel of crap. I mean, some things, don't get me wrong, in a game look great, but other things just really let them down. And to me, I love looking at the computers and the consoles and being able to read what's on the screen, and perhaps finding more information, being able to read something that's on a scrap of paper that's fallen down. I can hide Easter eggs and things like that, nods to certain parts of the game, all sorts of things. So what have we got? That's the new monitors that I've done. That's my 5.0 texture pack. That's the folder, and I was loading the tray over the top, wasn't I? I can't remember if, no, I can't load that because my texture pack's got the tray in it. If you try to load two different packages that have got two variants of the same texture, it will crash the game, so we're not going to do that. So let's just quickly click run. There's old V6. So when V6 is repackaged and patched, you'll see it come up with V6 when it loads, and if there are any additional ones, V6.5 or 7 in the future, I will keep changing that, so you'll always know what version you're running and if it's installed, because if it isn't, you won't see that. Right, what are we up to? 8 minutes, so it's getting on for the 10-minute mark here, and I need to click on the game. Here it is. Just skip that. Don't forget to join TemplarGFX's Overhaul community on Discord. Boom. I'll leave a link in the description for that. Right. Oh, did you see that? Sorry, that's the new Overhaul title. It's actually called Aliens Colonial Marines Templars GFX's Overhaul. That's how Templars told me that's how his mod is actually supposed to be worded. Okay, let's click on Campaigner and zoom again. I'd say some of these things I've been editing have been so badly pixelated, I've had to take a little bit of creative license on them. Especially when especially when you have trouble trying to identify what they are in the real world and trying to find pictures and things of them. It's just not always available. Right, I'll be with you in a minute, O'Neill. So here's the tray again, the Diagnostics cart again, and you'll see the pictures change. it's my upgraded picture for the CRT monitor. And before we go down there, talking about badly rendered things, here's a badly rendered tray, which I have actually enhanced, but it still comes out bad. So I'm going to have to I have started increasing the size of this particular file because it's just bad. Around this tray at the moment, this is actually the original tray texture used for another tray in the game that's got a higher resolution texture, whereas this one was just compressed so much it went into poop. So I've tried reusing the original one. It still doesn't make it look brilliant, and it actually shows that the inside of the tray is actually beveled on the back left edge there. So you'll see if I run my crosshair down and imagine that's a line, that part's actually raised upward instead of being flat with this part, and is sloping towards this side. It's really bad. There's even, like, you know, you can see here, like, dents and wavy lines where they haven't bothered rendering this tray properly at all. So the nicer I try to make it, the more you're going to notice that crap. So I'm going to have to find a way to kind of mask that sort of thing. I have made these boxes and stuff readable and whatnot. They're going to be better than that. I've actually found now, with this tray, the original textures for these boxes too, which I'm going to enhance. So I will remake all these boxes and they will be original, and of course you'll be able to read the text on these pages too. Even though they do look good right now, you'll be able to read them. So anyway, let's jump down here and I'll show you the CRT monitor. I'm also redoing this. I have got the texture, I just need to finish it off. I'll showcase that soon. I'm going to be redoing these, what I call turbines or generators, because they're terrible. You know what I mean? You've got beautifully rendered things like this door, for instance, and then a horrible flat pixelated mess there. Nah. Okay. The game doesn't seem to mind what size you make the files either. It seems to handle them pretty well. Of course, if you're playing it on an old PC, you might not want to run the updated texture pack. Okay, so where are we? Right, here's... oh, I've got to talk over him again. Here's a new CRT monitor. Let's turn my light off. Like I said, I had to have a little bit of creative license with them. I couldn't read what the hell was on the screen, so I just made it... I can't freaking see it properly. It is on there. I call it the Weyland-Yutani Systems Variable CRT Monitor WYS Weyland-Yutani Systems CRT 101. Just put lots of things on there for vertical hold, different outputs, did all the buttons and everything. The actual metal texture on it is a texture that I've reused from an existing texture in the game that's very high res, and that's a good way of doing things in this game. If there's a metal texture somewhere else, a stone texture or something like that, and it's really high res, it makes sense to reuse it and enhance other things and sort of keep them as close to original as you can. Then this top thing also, the screen was totally black, there was nothing on the buttons. I didn't know what it was apart from some kind of card reader or media reader, so I just called this the Weyland-Yutani Systems Limited STCR, or Standard Terminal Code Recorder. Make of that what you will. Okay, I also completely enhanced the laptops. I've put characters on every single button. It's got a stainless steel finish on it, but it's coloured so it's darker. It's got power buttons. I've even lit up the lights as well in the light file, so when it's dark you can still see them with the Weyland-Yutani badge. It does still show some of the scratches from the old texture which bleed through my new texture. I haven't found what causes that yet. I think it might be its spectral, what I call the lighting map. I'm not entirely sure, but I'll have to try and sort that out, otherwise they're going to bleed through all the time. And I have actually managed, just trying to get through this quick as I can so it's not too long, I've actually managed to recreate the back of it off an actual existing grid systems or grid compass, which is what this laptop's based on. So it's got all its ports and everything in the back. I had to make all of this, copied it off the original one's writing. I made the the voltage regulator there and this part as well myself, and enhanced it all. I've even done the normal map so that the writing pops out and grills go in, and there's visible screws and all sorts of things all over the darn thing. The only thing I haven't done, Well, I did do it, is put the screen back to movie the way it was supposed to be in the movie, where it's got a bezel that goes right around it. It's in the texture file, but unfortunately it's made so it's within this screen and gets overwritten. Or if I shrink it, it will display in the screen with our new Remote Sentry weapon system screen that I made myself in the middle, but then it will light up the side as if it's just a picture on a screen, and it looks crap. So I've just sort of left it as it is, so it matches everything else. And just quickly to finish, I've also just finished redoing all these monitors. I found a metal texture online and put a filter on it to make a kind of little grainy 80s plastic look. Put new speakers on it. Like I said, I did all those. I did the buttons by from scratch. Made the grills from another picture on an angle, and it took ages to get that straight and make it into speakers. I've redone the rear of those as well. And there's another variant over here that's bloody upside down for some reason. This one's slightly different. It's got an aluminium texture on it. Sometimes it can look a bit like stone, but it's aluminium. And this one is a blend of the original texture and the aluminium being pulled through, so you can still see all the old damage and stuff from the old one, but also all the new grill and everything I've put on there and all the bits and bobs. And I'll show you that behind here. I'm not used to doing videos this quick and trying to talk through things and remember it this fast, but it was an old school monitor with some kind of card bus ID thing. I wasn't sure what it was. I couldn't find a picture of it. Sometimes you have to be really specific on how you search for things, and if you can't come up with that terminology, it just won't come up. So I just made it into a TV, got this picture off of another HD television pretty much, and interjected it into the screen, and then I put an RF signal booster on it called the Channel Master Titan 2, just to make it look cool, and I made it all pop out. Where this panel is here, this didn't actually have an indent. This side did, but this side didn't. It just had a grill on it, and it looked shit. So I used a little bit of Photoshop wizardry to impregnate that into the plastic, if you will. It's got all of its important signs and things. You can actually read the signs here. Installation should be periodically inspected and tested. September 25th, 2179. And I haven't signed it as anyone. That sticker's actually on the back of all these units as well. I've redone all the ports on the back of them and speakers and you name it, I've done it to them. This room in particular is pretty much finished. But there we are. Anyway, just trying to keep it as brief as possible. But I will update in the future, chat about these things in a little bit more detail, and see if I can actually fix that stupid Diagnostics cart displaying a picture of the CRT monitor's original texture, because that's weird. Anyway, thanks for watching. The link for Discord will be in the description, and I'll catch you in the future. Spoons313 out.